Producers. This is your publisher, Kristen Brindley, and I'm here with wonderful Scalables. And Scalable has been part of Nova Real Producers since near the very beginning, and our partner spotlight for May. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure you do. I love these photos. And ladies, I want to introduce everyone on this call. So we have the partners. We have Catherine Dudley and Alicia Brown and Rhiannon Reynolds. So thank you so much for being on, and I appreciate your partnership the whole time of Nova Real Producers since we very first started in the area. And Alicia, when you 5 years ago, when you started your company, 200 transactions in a year, you've 10x that. Like you and Kat merged, you're an amazing, duo. 2,000 transactions last year. It's amazing. I love watching the exponential growth and what you've done and bringing on Rhiannon. And I can't wait to have everyone hear what she's doing. Amazing company. Thank you so much. Tell us what you do. So, Alicia, take it away. What do you all do?
Sure. Primarily focusing on administrative support for real estate agents, and that includes transaction coordination. That's that contract to close portion of the real estate transaction. We do also do some listing support administration, so before it goes on the market. And we've recently offered products on helping with preparing offers. So that's most of it right now.
Well, and that's beautiful. And the what's in it for them. Can you, because I feel like what you said earlier when I was talking to you earlier, what what's in it for the agent using an amazing transaction coordination company?
So I think that one of the things that you really get is that balance of work and life, and also just getting that time back. It's that golden work-life balance, but you get that time back. And what you do with that time is your decision. So some agents take that time and they pour it into getting more business. Some people take that time and pour it into spending more time with their family. It depends on where you are and what you want in your life at that time. But everybody could use having a little bit more time back in their life, doing the things that they love.
Amen. Wouldn't we? We all want that. Walk me through a process of how you've gotten where you are today. I mean, 200 transactions to 2,000. Tell us about that, Alicia, and then Catherine. Like, please.
Sure. I mean, just a little bit about me. I came from an insurance industry. Then I went into product marketing in a tech industry, went into real estate about 20 years ago. I've done a little bit of everything there. A huge focus on broker. So a lot about paperwork and compliance. Really like the operational side of things, the compliance side of things. Started Scalable about 5 years ago as just like a part-time thing that I was going to do. And then it grew into a company, and then ran into a wonderful person, Catherine Dudley, who'd already been doing this for like 10 years and knew it way better than I did. But we both discovered we both had different skills on how we could grow our business in better and more awesome ways. And so that's really where I think the exponential growth came from, is that whole 1 + 1 = 3.
Beautiful. Catherine, do you want to talk a little bit more about like the step by step and what happened? Or
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I got into real estate at a really young age. I started out right out of high school thinking I was going to be in nursing. I learned very quickly that that just wasn't for me. So I stumbled upon a job ad actually in the newspaper that I applied for, and I was hired almost immediately as a receptionist in a real estate office. So kind of grew through the ranks with my first employer. And after about 7 years working for them, they're making some changes in their life and their business. And they actually helped me to start to launch the Virtual Advantage, which was the initial company prior to the Scalable Real Estate Solutions merger. And so I was just doing TC work for agents in Montgomery County, Maryland, for several years, starting in 2007, all the way until we merged with Scalable in 2019.
it really does come full circle. I had met both of you in different circumstances prior to y'all merging too. And when I heard it, I was like, oh, that makes total sense to me. That's fantastic. Well, and what's been the biggest challenge? So what's been the biggest challenge, Catherine?
So I think that probably the biggest challenge, actually, where we speak highly of the merger and we're super proud of our success, our biggest challenge was the merger. We were both very successful, very independent, very strong-minded women. We were doing our own thing, and we actually didn't have any plans on merging with anyone. We were just happy to just continue to do our own thing. And so I think it really just was happenstance, right? We met each other at I think it was a class I was covering for someone, maybe in one of the
It was
offices.
one of those masterminds for admins,
Yeah, so I was covering, I think I was covering it. I wasn't supposed to, right?
directors of operations. Yep.
Yes. So we met there and we just continued our relationship. Alicia's huge advocate of mastermind. So she, really kept on me and held me accountable to masterminding with her. And through those sessions, and we just became friends, and we realized, like, wow, there's a lot of things that me personally, speaking for myself, I didn't want to do anymore. And there were things that I recognized with Alicia that she was really good at, and they actually were the things that I didn't like and I didn't want to do. So it was a challenge because our personalities were both very strong-minded, and we had to learn, the give and take. It was sort of like getting married all over again, and we had to get to know each other, and we had to learn to communicate with each other. We had to learn to understand each other's weaknesses, and we had to learn to give ourselves grace and to give each other grace when we had those moments that we weren't so proud of. So that's it, really. The merger, it was the biggest success story, but it was also the biggest challenge.
It definitely.
Well, that's inspiring. And also, it sounds like it can be humbling. And I've had that myself in different partnerships and so on, is like admitting, like, oh yeah, I'm not very good at that. And sometimes it's great to do. And yeah, it's beautiful. I love watching you guys together too. What sets y'all apart makes you different?
I would say that the thing that probably sets us apart from transaction coordination companies in general is the combined experience that you get when you work with Scalable. You actually get 40 plus years of combined experience between Alicia having her broker's license and her having the unique experience of the real estate, and from running the business on the business side and understanding the needs of small brokerages and small teams. And to me, actually being in the day-to-day and understanding the actual process of the transaction from the beginning to the end. I've probably had my hands on over 5,000 transactions in my career, over 2 decades. So yeah, so there's just no way possible that one real estate agent can have the amount of exposure that we have, just because of the nature of what we do. So you really do, you get immediate experience, you get immediate expertise, I would say,
Right.
by hiring us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and when I think of plug and play too, and just not having to take the extra time for any training on any of that, like, I mean, that's a dream come true right there. How do y'all get clients? Rhiannon?
Yes. So, in various ways, right? So, referrals, word of mouth, building relationships, attending networking events. I've got the pleasure of joining Alicia and heading out to some events for Nova Real producers this year, which has been wonderful. We've brought on actually several agents each event we attend. So it's a joy. It comes from different avenues. We appreciate that.
Yeah, no, we very much appreciate you all, and I love hearing that. That is 100% what we want for all of our partners. So Rhiannon, tell us about what you do at Scalable.
So actually, I was brought on this year, the end of last year, to really form and build our client care program, right? Strengthen that up. It's, a relationship builder between us and the TCs, bringing more of that golden work-life balance, right? We want to make sure that each agent knows that they are valued, that we value them, and by showing them, building the client care program.
Tell me about this year. So what are you focused on this year? What do you accomplish this year? Tell us the plan. Yeah.
So this year, the focus really is connecting with each of the agents, right? I know that the TCs do handle their transactions, but over the course of probably the next, 60 days, each quarter, I really want to make sure that I'm picking up the phone to give each agent a call, which is no easy feat, right? We have 200 plus agents, but it's a good thing that we can reach out and just, have a conversation, right? Have feedback. I know we do feedback surveys, but there's something powerful in a voice. Like this morning, I spent 38 minutes on the phone with an agent, just kind of going over, her experience so far with part of our listings that we're working on and our offer prep process that we have. It was great to hear, setting expectations, with her. Through the onboarding process and stuff, and just that continued touch, right? We talked to them at onboarding, and then they're partnered with their TC, but it really is imperative for our business and longevity of our business that we maintain that relationship throughout, that we don't put that just solely on our TCs, to know that they have there is a full company back there, knowing that we care about what the agents are going through and how we can help them.
So you all are always in growth mode. 200 to 2,000 transactions. Like, are y'all hiring?
Yeah, I'd say that we're always looking for talent. I mean, I don't think there is a time that we're not. We're always looking for talent. We have a strong belief in building up that pool, that bench of people, building those relationships with people that might be a potential to work with us sometime in the future, even if it's not today, because it keeps growing and we keep needing new things, to be able to take better care of our clients and take better care of the people that are serving their clients. And so we are always looking. That's what I always say. It's like, yeah, are you looking? Well, yeah, we're always looking. Send anything you want over if you're interested. We'll see, how that might fit in either today or maybe, tomorrow or in 3 or 4 months. But the way that we're growing, it's constantly changing.
No, that's absolutely beautiful. And I've heard a lot of great teams and so on say that they keep a talent pool and they're always, so that makes total sense to me. Every business has a secret weapon, someone, something that they attribute a great deal of success to. What is that for you all? Like, what would you say that is?
I would have to definitely speak on this one and say that it's our business coach. We coach with David Patterson, his actual business name, DP3 Consulting. Is that what he goes by, Alicia? Is that right?
Yes.
So David Patterson is our business coach. I believe that we owe the success to him. Number one of our relation, helping us to bridge our relationship, mine and Alicia's relationship, and just helping us to stay focused on our goals. And when we like to go down rabbit holes sometimes, because we do, he, redirects us back to, remind us of, what we were planning for the year and where we, how far have we gotten to that, and just kind of just really keeping us focused on what, what we're doing this for. So I would say that everyone can probably relate to that in this business. We do, it's a very coaching heavy industry, right? We all believe in business coaching. So definitely have to contribute, give him a shout out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would 100% say that. I just want to also say on top of that, it's just, we talked about the merger a little bit earlier, and I think that he was instrumental in making sure that merger happened. Like, I don't know if it would have happened. It definitely wouldn't have happened as smoothly if we didn't have him to help mediate between us and help us learn each other's language and how to speak. He also, for me, I have so many ideas, right? Everything's going on. And he brings it all down to saying, okay, so what's the one thing you can do that's going to affect everything else? And that takes me forever to figure out. I can tell you the 10 things. I just don't know which one's first. And so he's really good at helping us figure out, okay, why is this a priority? Why is that a priority? Why is that going to help you get where you need to go? And that's huge.
So that's amazing. It sounds like visionary integrator. I personally have had a coach for 5 years, and I have the same
Yes.
coach, and highly recommend coaching. Awesome. So work with David. I would work with David.
Work with a coach. I mean, I'm not going to say you have to work with any particular coach, because there's different coaches for different things. I do believe in that as well.
What have you learned is the best way to pair up, the agent and and the TC? Like, how do you all go about doing that?
Absolutely. That's a good question. I have a lot of agents who ask me that question, and it is a great question. One of the benefits of going with a company is because we have so many different transaction coordinators. And one of the biggest things we look at is personality, right? So, if you've ever studied the DISC, for example, right, you want to make sure that they know how to talk to each other, and you want to make sure that they know how to communicate in a way that everybody understands and gets things done quickly. Um, I think personality is a huge part of it. Other things are like who's more versed in a particular state, since we do serve 3 states, right? So if I have somebody who's Maryland heavy, I want them to have a TC that knows Maryland heavily. It's those kinds of things. And then the third thing we always look at is bandwidth, right? I want to make sure that if you're expecting to close 50 transactions this year, you're working with a transaction coordinator that can manage 50 transactions, because I don't want any transaction coordinator overworked. But more importantly, I don't want my clients to get, less service because somebody is trying so hard to cover everything. We're really huge on making sure that we take the best care we can of our clients. And one of those ways is to make sure we manage that bandwidth. We manage that so that they're never overdone. We got plenty of other people. We've got extra support and help as needed in the busy seasons. And so these are things that are very important to us to make sure that our clients are always being served at the highest level.
Well, that's a great answer, and 40 years of experience between the two of you, that makes a lot of sense. uh, why did you all choose to work with real producers? Why do y'all work with real producers?
Sure. So I will say that at first it was a referral, right? So it was another TC company that actually referred me. But I also think that what's really fantastic about it is the different ways that you can interact with agents through being part of this community. You have social media interaction, you have the magazine interaction, networking opportunities. When I talk to people, in conversations and I've already read about them or met them at an event, or if I know that I'm going to an event, right? I recently was communicating via email and I'm like, hey, I'm going to the mastermind event. Are you going to be there? I'd love to meet you in person. While we do a lot of remote and virtual, especially since COVID, it's nice to be able to put faces to those names of all those people that we've talked to. And so these events are a chance for me to say, hey, how are you doing? How's your business going? How's life been treating